go.
Yeah.
So let's.
Are we recording?
I think we are.
Nice.
Jumping straight into it like that.
Yeah. Long time coming.
It has been a long time coming, hasn't it?
When was the last one that we did?
Brother, it was like
That was COVID times.
COVID, like 3-4 years ago. 2020, 2021.
Damn.
Did that little Skype thing, innit? Little Skype thing. Obviously untitled. Is no longer existing anymore.
Yeah. Welcome to the new and improved podcast, the upgrade podcast. That's still a name in works. But the reason I wanted to go with that name was just because I feel like when you're looking to upgrade anything, you need to absorb new knowledge and learn new skills and new things to be able to implement, to be able to get to that next level. And I think that's what you should aim for in life, to try and learn more, acquire new skills, and just become a better human overall. So, but that name's still in the works, but that's what we'll go with for now.
I like the name. It's a good name, man. It's a good name.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we're gonna be talking about the topic of self-improvement. You know.
Wait, hold on. I'm not liking his height difference. Can you?
I'm not no. I'm not sitting on anything.
He's sitting on top of his jumper to make him look 6'5". Let me just raise
your chair.
How about that? Now I'm 6'5".
Yeah, you wish in your dreams, bro.
So what are we talking about?
So we're gonna be talking about a few little concepts in self-improvement today. You know, obviously a few bullet points here and there.
That's what we did our last podcast on.
Yeah, so like 3 years ago. Was it 3 years ago? I think it was 3 years ago. We did a little podcast, an untitled podcast, which, by the way, I've already mentioned, no longer exists, just because of a lack of commitment and dedication, which is my fault completely.
That's why we need self-improvement.
Exactly.
That's why we need
self-improvement. We need that commitment, dedication to upgrading yourself.
Exactly.
Upgrading yourself.
See, it's all tied together.
Upgrading yourself, being a better version of you, and you know. Just being better as a human being overall.
So what would you say for you personally, and what do you think in general is the aim of self-improvement?
I think for me, like personally speaking, the aim of self-improvement, you know, is to, like I've already mentioned before, is to sort of better yourself as a human being, you know, encouraging good habits into your daily routine. And it's also kind of like sort of breaking down your belief system if you're already sort of in like a negative mindset, you know, and you want to sort of not necessarily transmutate, but you know that concept of like neuroplasticity, where you change the way you think. It's just something along those lines, you know, building a better you day by day by enforcing that sort of good habits into your daily routine. You know, whether that be journaling, meditating, whatever. What about you?
So no, just quickly. So imagine I'm that's thinking about getting into self-improvement. You said all this stuff about it, but what's the point in me doing that? You're saying, I need to build good habits and do X, Y, Z. Why should I do that?
I think for me personally, you know, when I started my whole journey on self-improvement, you know, my mindset switched, the way I perceive things switched. So if you're viewing things in a negative light, then by all means, like, you need to encourage daily habits, good routines into your daily habits, into your daily routine, whatever you wanna call it. What was your question again, bro? It's just completely slipped my mind.
If I'm someone getting into it,
if you're someone getting into it,
what's the purpose? What's the benefit for me?
I don't know. There's a lot of like biological benefits already, as you already know.
But how would you go about convincing someone? So you said, like, you know, you can meditate, journal, and build all these good habits, but most people, well, I can't say most people, but some people are going to be like, oh, that's boring, I don't want to do that, I just want to play video games, go out, do X, Y, Z, even all these things that probably aren't good for you, but they're going to want to stay in those ways.
But then that's down to them though, because they're comfortable in that sort of environment, you know. And if they're comfortable with what they're doing now, and they're not seeing how it sort of affects their mind state or whatever it might be, maybe they're happy doing that, which is completely fair enough, you know. But for me personally, like the things I've already spoken about with you in past, you know, I think it just changes your outlook and it just changes your perception. Like, you can still make time for things like video games, you can still make times for things like, I don't know, going out, having drinks, whatever it might be. It's all good. It's all good in like moderation. That's the thing. Like if you're doing too much of that, there's a lot of effects that you don't see. You know, there's a lot. I think personally, there's a lot of effects that you don't see. But yeah, man.
So how would you convince that person?
How would I convince them?
Or you just think it's up to them to convince themselves?
And this is what I want to say, because I think it's genuinely down to it's situational, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's situational. It's like, if you're not happy with the lifestyle that you're currently living, if you can see that you're like, I don't know, like not morbidly obese, but like if you see you're like overweight or whatever, and it's like kind of affecting the way you look at yourself in a mirror. Yeah. You know, you can only convince yourself to do these things. Yeah, you can reach out to your friends, your family, your partner, whatever it might be, and be like, look, listen, I want to go on towards this journey. But it's all about the self-discipline. It's all about the commitment. It's all about you. It's all within you. You know, the most important thing that people say, or the most important thing that any sort of religion would say or whatever, is that your body is your temple. That's just when it comes to the sort of whole exercise side of it, you know, which I'm currently like kind of working towards myself. Yeah. I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's all like it's all inside here. It's all inside your own head. You know, you've got to take that decision by yourself. You know, but it's also good to sort of surround yourself with the right people who can encourage that growth. Do you get me?
Yeah, that's true. So what do you think is the first step for someone? Like, yeah, okay, cool, I'm gonna improve my life. What do I do first?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I think for me, the most important thing is, it's like what I did personally speaking, was to sort of like notice what was kind of going wrong in my life, notice where I was like sort of being too emotional, like sort of being like any aspect of my life that was wrong or I was unhappy with. I was sitting there writing down, like not a list, but like making a mental note or writing down on my phone like what I would do to improve. And you know, like I'm still like slim now, but like obviously one of those things for me in the past was like doing like regular exercise, because you know I just wanted to be big, I wanted to be strong. Also encouraged by a bit of a heartbreak, but you know, it was encouraged by a bit of a
there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need little fuel for the fire.
I'm gonna just take this jumper off, sorry.
There you go, revealing it.
So it's a bit uncomfortable,
but I 100% agree. I think a lot of people think they get overwhelmed because they think they need to add in all the good habits, but I think it's more about removing the bad habits first. So like you're saying, being emotional, and maybe being impulsive, whether that be with things like drinking or eating unhealthily or scrolling through your phone. These are like impulsive behaviours, and I think it's about gradually building that discipline over time. Don't know what that was.
Through a chair, bro.
Can you use your bottle?
I don't know.
Use your bottle.
Are you sure it's my bottle?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Alright, it's calm.
But yeah, gradually building that discipline over time. And slowly removing the bad habits. And I think once you've gotten to a level where you kind of have those under control, then you can start introducing the good habits. I don't think it's with anything, it's not good to do everything at once. You need to do it step by step. So I say that first step is removing the bad habits.
It's always a journey, isn't it? It's always a journey to where you want to be. Like you said, like removing the bad habits is always something that's quite important. And I think once you sort of like remove the bad habits from your system, whatever, if it's like smoking or drinking or whatever it might be, that's like physical, removing people around you, I think the next step would be to sort of, for me personally, is to surround yourself with the right people. You know, like you need to have like a good support network when it comes to actually like sort of not necessarily chasing your goals, but changing your mindset. You know, if you wanna go to the gym and you have a friend that goes to the gym, or like, you know, somebody who's like blam, like yourself, it's kind of important to like sort of keep them around me, because like when it came to sort of taking the first step and eliminating the sort of bad habits that I had, the next step for me was to actually surround myself with the right people, you know. And that's when I sort of started my calisthenics journey, and I'm making this a bit too personal, like as if
go ahead
as if this is like some sort of interview, but it's not. It's important. Basically what I'm trying to say is it's really, really important to surround yourself with the right people. It just encourages a change in mindset. You're hearing the right things every day. you know, sometimes from time to time you do need your boys, your friends, whatever you call it, to be like hype men to sort of encourage you and to like keep you moving forward. And you know, like as long as you don't let it get to you in terms of like an egotistical way, it's all good.
Yeah, nah, you're a product of your environment.
Yeah.
And yeah, nah, to what you were saying, I think after that first step of being like, okay, these are the bad habits I need to remove, I think it's also important to figure out like what was the cause in the first place. So why were you eating so much junk food? Why were you not exercising? Why were you engaging in all these like behaviours that aren't going to benefit you?
Do you think, can I ask, do you think that's down to like being a product of your environment?
That can be a cause. Like maybe you have a group of friends where every day they want to meet and go out to a dessert place, and you know, and out of your friends, you're the only one that maybe wants to see a change in yourself, or you're not happy with how things are. But if your friends are constantly doing the same thing, then you're just gonna be like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna follow them. It's hard to break away from the people close to you that are always doing the same thing and be like, nah, I'm gonna do something else. So I think that's definitely one cause, your environment. But it could be other things. It could be other things, like maybe you're dealing with other things in life, so you're using something else to kind of deal with those emotions, or you're just avoiding the emotions altogether and engaging in whatever that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think finding the cause is a good step. I think what helps with most of this is journaling, which is a good habit. And I know I said you should remove the bad habits first, but I think you have to have a vision of how you want to be in your head.
But when you
need an idea of what you're working towards.
But when you're journaling, right? Because I've done journaling in the past before, and for me it's kind of always been like sort of like projecting my feelings onto a page. Do you get me? It's never really been like looking at the future and being like, yeah, I want to be this type of person. It's more for me to sort of like write down my thoughts, understand where my mind is in that current moment, and like, you know, once it's all out on paper, I can sort of rationalize my own feelings, understand myself better.
Yeah.
And when I've done that, I feel a lot better about myself. But I know a lot of people can take the journaling thing, like, you know, to different avenues when it comes to like, you know, their own affirmations, or like you said, like being like a best like future version of yourself. Yeah, just that was just a side note for me, and I'm somebody that's sort of like journals for my own self in the current moment, rather than actually like focusing on the future. So I guess you can say there's like
there's loads of different ways.
There's like loads of different ways. Yeah,
you can reflect on the past, you can think about how you're feeling in the present, but not even looking to the future, but just having an ideal vision of how you want to be. It's actually in a book. It's called Mind Hacking, and it's just writing down, like having a vision of the best version of yourself. So I actually did this. I wrote down like everything the best version of myself would do, like go to the gym every day, wake up at 6 a.m, take cold showers, you know, and so on and so forth. And I think having that image of yourself gives you something to work towards. And I think ultimately in self-improvement, that's what you need direction.
No, you do.
If you don't have direction, then you're not really going to know what you're doing, and what you're doing isn't going to be purposeful.
Fair enough, man. I think in all of what you said, like for me personally, I think in all of what you said, the big thing that you kind of not missed out on, but like maybe just forgot to mention, was the whole, like, you know, waking up at 6, cold showers, whatever it might be, like you're doing in terms of your daily routine. A lot of that is sort of commitment as well. Like you need to know that like once you're on that journey, like the first like couple of days, or like the first maybe even a couple of months, actually not even first couple of days, however much willpower you have, it's never going to be easy, because like not everybody wants to get out of bed at like 6 or 5:30 or whatever it is. Like you know, me personally, like when I'm going to work, I'm meant to be getting up for like 6:30.
When it's cold,
yeah,
I just want to stay in my bed.
Yeah, when it when it gets cold, or like when bro, I don't know why, but like on the weekdays when my bed is my bed is just so much comfier than the weekends, man.
No,
It's just so much. It's just so much comfier. But yeah, no, it requires a lot of commitment to actually like sort of do those things. And like we mentioned earlier, and I keep circling back to this point anyway. It's all about like being in that right mindset. It's like when you want to take that first step, and you know you want to take that first step. It's the whole commitment aspect of it. Yeah. Do you get me?
I think it all comes back to why you're doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
Which is what we first spoke about.
Yeah.
You're not going to commit to something if you don't know why you're doing it. If someone goes, oh, you need to improve your life, and you don't know why, you're probably not going to do it. So like, what the fuck is this guy saying? My life is fine, I don't need to do anything. If you can't understand where you're going wrong, or if you don't have the ambition to improve your life, then you're not going to want to do anything to improve it.
No, that's true, man. But going back to what you were saying about like, you know, taking that first step and, you know, taking that first step on your journey, do you think that it's like a situational thing, or do you think it's something that somebody has to sort of decide for themselves?
I think it can be both.
Why?
So situational, do you mean like something that happens to them, like
like something happens to you, you go through like a bad breakup, you know you're
that can be a catalyst. There's no reason it can't, but I think the reason you start, it will have an effect on your mindset. Like if you start for the wrong reasons, then
you got to do it for yourself. Always has to be for yourself. If you're doing it for somebody else, eventually you might be on like an arc, and then eventually it'll kind of fizzle out.
If you're doing it for someone else and external validation, then you're always going to be insecure. The insecurity won't go away. Like take getting in shape, for example. If you're getting in shape, like from a male perspective, if you're getting in shape solely to attract women, then you're relying on the external validation of women. And whether you get that or not, there's still going to be the insecurity because you're longing for that.
No, it's true. It's true.
Validation.
Yeah, I mean, like, go building on what you said. I feel like I agree with what you're saying when you say you're building on external validation. What am I saying, bro? I feel like when you're doing it for external validation, it, like I mentioned already, it kind of fizzles out. Like it's not really your journey. It's just like it becomes somebody else's journey. You're not really your true self, and you're not staying true to yourself. You're just doing it for somebody else.
Yeah, no, you have to evaluate why you want to do things. Like obviously getting in shape is going to be good for you regardless. So if you get heartbroken and you're like, okay, now I'm going to start going to the gym, it's not a bad thing that you've gone to the gym, but hopefully take that situation for example, hopefully along the line you want to get to a point where, okay, I enjoy this, I'm just doing this for myself.
You'll do that. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like from the start, you might do it for external validation, but then afterwards, along the line, you might realize like you kind of love this lifestyle that you're currently living. You're seeing improvements in your body. You're seeing improvements in your health, like your overall mental health as well. And you might just stay on that passage. But like, say there comes a situation where like, you know, you reunite with your ex or whatever it might be that broke your heart in the first place. And you know they see you're making those gains or whatever it might be, and they see that your overall like condition is better. Like then if they don't have those same feelings for you, it will just kind of sway you off the path. You know, I think that's a massive thing. Like I think people doing it for external validation, the whole self-improvement journey, the whole upgrade journey. You know, people doing it for the whole sort of external validation, like sort of process, like. It's a dangerous game, man. It's a dangerous game.
But that's what I'm saying. It's all about mindset. It's all about mindset. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, then your mindset is never gonna be upgraded. Your mindset's never gonna improve.
Alright.
No. And I think that's the main thing in self-improvement that you need to improve. You need to improve your mindset.
So what other sorts of like things would you incorporate into your daily habit to actually sort of get to where you want to be? Because you've spoken about like, you know, waking up at 6 a.m, like cold showers, like journaling, you know, like what are your thoughts on like meditation? What are your thoughts on, you know?
So we've removed some of the bad habits. We've become a bit more disciplined. I would say the first thing actually, there is no first thing to go to. The first thing you go to is the easiest for you. If you find meditation the easiest, if you find journaling the easiest, if you find cold showers easiest, if you find exercise easiest, then go to that thing. I don't think it's wise to try and do everything at once, because you're trying to learn different things. You're trying to learn things about fitness. You're trying to learn about how it's easiest for you to meditate. Because I know with meditation, a lot of people are like, nah, I can't sit in silence. I can't. You know, they I feel like they have the wrong idea about meditation. And I think in modern times, where we're so like stimulated all the time by like constantly looking at our phones, because our brains don't get a chance to rest. That's why people are like, oh, I'm an overthinker,
Yeah.
But through giving your mind that quiet time, you learn how to just let your thoughts pass and not constantly be distracted all the time.
That's the thing. I feel like when you actually like start doing that sort of practice, whatever meditation you might actually do, there's always going to sort of be like passing thoughts, or like, you know, intrusive thoughts that you don't want. And it's just it's honestly all a practice. Like, you know, at the start you're going to be like, oh yeah, this thought's passing, that thought's passing, I'm closing my eyes, I can't focus. But eventually, when you keep on doing it, you know, whatever meditation you might do, if it's like breathing, if it's like Wim Hof, if it's like listening to a guided meditation, full moon meditation, whatever you're into, it's all honestly like a practice. You know, eventually you'll arrive to a place where you're like, okay, cool, I can sit there in silence with my thoughts, and I'm not letting it affect me because I'm giving my mind time to rest. Yeah, man.
I think with self-improvement, you have to understand that there's going to be ups and downs, because like you said, like when you're meditating, you have to learn to just like let your thoughts pass. But I've been doing meditation for I don't know how long now, maybe since 2020. There'll be periods of time where I can't like concentrate as well as I have been able to in the past. So I think it's about allowing yourself to go through those like
the ups and
mistakes
downs
as well. Yeah, exactly.
The ups and downs.
You can't have this perfect. You can't have this image in your mind that everything's going to be perfect and the upgrade is going to be linear. So yeah, I would say just allow yourself room to have bad days and good days.
You know, I agree, man. There's always going to be ups and downs on your journey. Like, you know, you're not every day is going to be the same. You know, one day you might be feeling amazing, the other day you might be feeling like completely terrible because there was like a lack of commitment. I think, personally speaking, from my experience, man, like I started doing meditation like back in, I think during like the lockdown period, or like maybe just a bit after, just after I graduated from uni. So maybe a bit before, actually, I can't remember, but let's just say the lockdown period for now. But I feel like the one meditation for me that really helped, and this is just based off of personal experiences, is the Iceman, the Wim Hof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Wim Hof, like 10-minute guided breathing. There's a YouTube video, whoever's made it this far into the podcast, go look it up, Wim Hof Iceman. 10-minute guided meditation. It's just like rapid breathing. Rounds 1, 2, 3, and then obviously like there's breath holds in between. But like honestly, like when you're taking those rapid breaths and you get to a breath hold, there's nothing in your mind. For me, there's nothing in your mind. I can actually like feel blood like rushing through my body, like, you know, obviously there's a deprivation of oxygen in my brain because I've been like breathing so fast. I don't know if that's biologically right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I'm just like I'm too focused on my heartbeat, I'm too focused on my head and like the vibrations in my body to actually like notice any thoughts that I'm having. So like once I've finished that, it's like my mind is clear. I either do it in the morning or I do it in the evening. Like I can go to sleep, I can get ready for the day. It's something that's really worked for me, and I think like for a majority of people, like from what I've seen on like YouTube and like watching videos on like self-improvement, but like myself, a lot of people are sort of incorporating that into their daily routine, you know, alongside exercise, alongside whatever it might be. But me personally speaking, the best time to do it once you've done a banging workout. Yeah.
I think going back to I think what you said before about how would someone start, I think even before all that stuff, I think start with the basics, the very simple things, and I would say they are exercising, sleeping well, and eating healthily. I think those are the 3 easiest things to do. Eating 1 piece of fruit a day, maybe going, like, you can start very small, like going on a walk, and what did I say? Sleep as well. I feel like most people are sleep deprived.
It's a marathon, not a race, isn't it?
Sorry?
I said it's a marathon, not a race.
Yeah, nah, exactly.
It's a marathon, not a race.
It's about figuring out, like, over time, how you can perfect these things. Because I think by doing the, like, very basic things, it's gonna take you far. It's gonna sleeping well. It's gonna improve your energy levels. Eating well is gonna improve your energy levels, and exercising is gonna improve your energy levels, and they're all gonna improve your mood as well. So I would start with, these are probably the 3 things to.
So you think like keeping it simple, like right at the start of whatever you're working
with
towards.
anything, there's no point in overcomplicating it.
No. I agree.
It's like with sports. You're not gonna learn the tricks that Ronaldinho is doing without learning how to, like, dribble between cones first.
Or like pass a ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta start simple.
It's baby steps, innit? It's baby steps. Once you take those baby steps, and once you start working towards like something that you're actually building, then you'll see the fruits of your labour. I get what you're saying, actually. I do hear what you're saying. I feel like a lot of people are like way too quick to jump into like the deep end and just, start doing, like we've already spoken about this, like doing, this every day, journaling, meditation. I feel like you're going to get to a point where you're sort of like burning yourself out, It's got to be a thing that you kind of build up to, rather than actually like being, I need to meditate, I need to journal, I need to go to the gym, I need to go swimming, whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, for me, the aim of self-improvement is to find peace, or to at least try and maintain your peace. And when you're disciplined and not allowing your impulses to control you, and you're not engaging in these bad habits, it actually brings you peace. Like, your mind just feels like lighter and you feel at ease.
But like going back to what you said, right? You will still have like bad days. Like I'll be honest, I'm not like 100% perfect, and I think like acknowledgement is also like a massive concept when it comes to actually like self-improvement. I think that could even like be considered as like a step 2 after like your step 1. Acknowledging like, which, like, how you are as a person right now, what you want to improve, why you're not improving, taking that accountability, having that accountability of why you're in the situation you're in right now. 99% of the time, obviously, like, actually no, not 99%, but there will be like some occasions where it's actually your fault that you're in that place in the first place. Whereas like sometimes it might be like situational, like, you're not growing up in the best conditions. I don't know. I've always been lucky to have like a very like a good upbringing. But yeah, now going back to what I said, I think acknowledgement is so important, man. It's so important. Being able to sort of take accountability for like your bad habits and your bad actions is very important, because once you've acknowledged it's kind of your fault, you know that you owe it to yourself to improve. That's my philosophy behind things anyway. That's the way I see things, because there's still like bad habits in my life that creep through from time to time.
Bad habits always creep in.
They always creep in, like sleeping an extra like 15 minutes in bed, like smoking, drinking, vaping, whatever it is. Don't want to go too much into it, but
no, I think it's after I see what you're saying. I think you have to, I think the step after that is accepting where you are. So once you've acknowledged the like how your life is, how you are as a person, I think it's accepting that that's the reality, but then also acknowledging again that you're trying to improve yourself, and you're not going to be in that like situation forever. You're not going to be that kind of person forever.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is acceptance as well. And I think if people that don't accept how they are at that stage, I don't know, it does something to their ego. I feel like that's how insecurity remains. Like, if you go through a breakup but you don't accept the situation, and then you just engage in whatever behavior, and you don't accept that something's affecting you, then that insecurity is always going to remain, regardless of, even if down the line you go, cool, let me start doing some good habits. You haven't accepted that something has caused you to engage in a certain behaviour.
Word, 100. I agree. Acceptance.
How much time you got left?
I'll edit this bit out.
I'm not going to edit this.
You know, you start.
We're trying to record an outro. Anyways, to act like a fool.
Anyway, guys.
We're talking about self-improvement, you know, act arrogant.
Oh, yeah.
Shameful.
It is kind of shameful, I'm sorry about that.
But yeah, this will be the second episode of the Upgrade podcast. The first one we're doing together. I've done one by myself. It should already be out.
Pagan.
Go check it out if you haven't. It was great. Yeah. And well, this is gonna be a regular occurrence now. It's not gonna
Regular thing, man.
It's not gonna be like every 3 years.
Regular thing.
Yeah. We'll eventually have a boxing match.
Don't worry.
He's been saying that for 5 years.
I've been training, man. I've been training.
Yeah. That's
I've been training, bro. By the way, he's wearing a tight shirt. I just want to say. No, he's not.
This isn't a tight shirt.
He's actually that.
I'm just incredibly. Yeah.
Anyway,
let me be humble. But nice.
Thank you for watching, man.
In a bit.
Appreciate that.